Welcome all. Welcome to the lecture of General Anatomy. Today's our topic is tissues. Tissues basically are formed by the cells which are specialized for particular functions. The definition of tissues can be the tissues are a group of cells which is having similar structure and functions. Further, the tissues can be divided into four primary types, which is found in our human body. They are epithelium, connective tissues, nervous tissues, and the muscles or the muscular tissues. First, we are going to cover about the epithelial tissues. Basically, the epithelial tissues are found in different areas of our body. Basically, they are going to form the body coverings, body linings, glandular tissues. So these are basically the lining of all the structure is formed by the epithelial tissues in itself. What are the functions of the epithelial tissues are there? It is helping in the protection of the organs or our structure. It is helping in absorption, filtration, and secretion. Further, the epithelium can be divided into different categories. So basically, based on the number of cell layers, the epithelium can be divided into simple epithelium or stratified epithelium. Simple epithelium means that there will be the lining or cells will be arranged in a single layer. If more than one layers are there, then those types of epithelium is known as stratified epithelium. Second classification, based on the shape of the cells, the epithelium can be divided into the cells might be squamous cells, which will be of flattened in nature. Cuboidal, basically they will be cube-shaped cells might be there. Third is columnar cells, that is the column-like cells will be there. That means the height of the cells will be more than the width of the cells. First, so both can together be combined together and forming. So basically, based on the number of layers, the cells, the epithelium can be divided into still told as simple epithelium. So a simple epithelium can be based on the which type of cells are arranged in a single layer. It can be simple squamous. So basically, it will form by the single layer of flat cells. Usually forms the membranes, that is the lines body cavities, like wherever the cavities are there, the lining of those cavities are formed by the simple squamous epithelial cells. The line lungs and the capillaries. Simple cuboidal epithelium, basically they will be formed by the single layer of cube-like cells. Common in glands and their ducts. So mostly the glands which is found in our body, in that the lining will be formed by the simple cuboidal epithelium. It forms the walls of the kidney tubules and covers the ovaries. Third categories can be simple columnar epithelium. So single layer of tall cells will be forming the simple columnar epithelium. It often includes the goblet cells which produce the mucus, and apart from that it lines the digestive tract also. One of the most confusing type of the simple epithelium is pseudo stratified. As the name is suggesting, even though the cells are arranged in a single layer, but some cells are shorter than the others. So that's why it is giving that multiple layers of cells might be arranged. It often looks like a double cell layer. Sometimes it may be ciliated, such as in the respiratory tract, and may function in absorption and secretion of the materials within the cells. Next type of the tissues is connective tissues. Basically, the connective tissues can be found everywhere in the body. It includes the most abundant and widely distributed tissues in the body. The functions of the connective tissues are it binds the body tissues together, it supports the body, and it provides the protection to the body also. What are the characteristics of the connective tissues are there? Basically, they may vary in the blood supply as well as in the extracellular matrix also. So variation in the blood supply includes that some types of tissues or some types of connective tissues are well vascularized and some have poor blood supply, or in some cases it might be avascular also. The extracellular matrix of the connective tissues is basically formed by the non-living materials that surrounds the living cells. What are the different types of connective tissues are there? Now we are going to discuss some of them. Basically, the most common or the most known type of connective tissue is bone. Basically, it is the osseous tissues. It is composed by the bone cells in the lacunae, that is the cavities, and it contains the hard matrix of calcium salts, which are non-living components are there, which is surrounding the living cells. Large number of collagen fibers might also be forming, so that is providing the strength and rigidity to the bones. It is used to protect and support the body. Next is cartilage. Basically, it is also a part of skeletal system are there. It can be divided into three types. It might be hyaline cartilage, which is the most common type of cartilage is there, which is composed of abundant amount of collagen fibers to increase the rigidity or strength of the cartilage, and apart from that it contains the rubbery matrix. Entire fetal skeleton is composed by hyaline cartilage. Next type of cartilage is elastic cartilage, which provides the elasticity. Examples, the support of the external layers. Third type of cartilage is fibrocartilage, which is highly compressible, and it forms the forms the cushion-like disc between the vertebrae. So basically, the fibrocartilage is going to provide the cushioning effect within the bones. Next is areolar connective tissue. Basically, it is the most widely distributed connective tissue which is found in our body. It is the soft and pliable tissues. So basically, when we are going to touch it, the appearance might be soft. It contains all the fiber types and can soak up excess fluid which is found within the cells itself. Next is adipose tissues. Basically, the matrix of an areolar tissues in which fat globules predominates is known as the adipose tissues. Many cells contain large lipid deposits, so its function is it insulates the body so that the body heat can be controlled within the body surfaces. It protects the some organs also, and it serves as site for fuel storage. Next is blood. Blood is also a type of connective tissues. Basically, the blood cells is surrounded by a fluid matrix, so it is the liquid component and it is the most commonly found liquid connective tissue in the body. The fibers are visible during the clotting. When some kind of hemorrhage is happening and blood needs to clot, then only we can visualize the fibers. Otherwise, it will be seen as the liquid, that is the dense liquid is there. Its function as the transport vehicle for the materials within the body. Next type of tissues is muscle tissues. Its function is to produce movement. So basically the muscle tissues are responsible for the movement within our body. It can be further divided into three types. It can be skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and the smooth muscles. First, we are going to understand about the skeletal muscles. Basically, the skeletal muscles or the muscles which is forming the skeletal muscles, they can be controlled voluntarily. So, it will be under our own control whenever the movement is required, or when the brain is sending the signal, then only the movement can be possible. The cells attach to the connective tissues so that either the muscles can be attached to the bones or the underlying organs so that particular movement can be possible within that particular structures. The cells of these skeletal muscles or the skeletal muscle tissues are striated, so they will be having a band-like appearance. Cells have more than one nucleus within a single cell, so that the cells within a single cell there will be multiple nucleus might be found. Next type of the muscle tissues are the cardiac muscles. It is found only in the heart. As the name is suggesting, it is related to the heart itself. Its function is to pump blood. That is, it is an involuntary function. We cannot control the movement of the heart muscles. Cells attached to the other cardiac muscles in an intercalcated disc. Cells are striated and it is going to contain a single nucleus per cell. Next type of muscle tissues is smooth muscles. They are involuntary muscles. So basically it will also help in the responsible of the movement also, but it is involuntary functions is there. It surrounds the hollow organs and attached to the smooth muscle cells. There will be no any visible striations can be found in the cells of these types of smooth muscles, and it will only contain a single nucleus in a cells. Last type of the tissues is the nervous tissues. The nervous tissues are the components of the nervous tissues are neurons and the nerve support cells. Its function is to send impulse to the other areas of the body, and it is helping in the irritability and conductivity of within the entire organ of our body. So basically, when the signal is being transmitted from the particular portion of the body to the brain, so it will help in the irritation of that particular area, so that stimulus can be generated and it can be transferred to the brain. Same way, brain is interpreting the signals or stimulus and sending the signals, it can be irritated and functions properly. There are different types of tissues that can, depending on what kind of regeneration can be found within the tissues. Tissues that regenerate easily are the epithelial tissues or the fibrous connective tissues and bones. So basically, once there is some kind of damage is happening, the epithelial tissues can be regenerated. Tissues that regenerate poorly are the skeletal muscles. So once the skeletal muscles are lost, automatically it will take time to regenerate. Tissues that are replaced largely with the scar tissues may contain the cardiac muscles or the nervous tissues within the brain and spinal cord. These are the references from where the materials and the textures has been taken. The materials has been taken from the B.D. Chaurasia Handbook of General Anatomy, Peter L. Williams and Roger Warwick, Gray's Anatomy, T.S. Ranganathan Textbook of Human Anatomy, and the pictures has been taken from internet and some components has been done by me.